Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another live stream of Hearthstone. So it is about 6:45 in the morning, Tuesday, September 5th, 6:52. I was pretty close there. And Insomnia's got me again, so last time we did this, it seemed like it worked pretty well as far as just recording in the morning and then getting tired and falling asleep after the stream. Hopefully, maybe I could do this. Well, I guess there's no consistency with Insomnia. I guess that's the problem, isn't it? As far as daily quests, the only thing I really need to do is Priest. Tavern Brawl is going to be back in a day, so we're not even going to do that. So I can just kind of, if I'm careful enough here, not play Standard, which is at rank 18. Just come over here and pick my Priest deck and try to get some victories in ranked play, so I get some ranked victories in Wild. And that's kind of all I need to do for the Americas server. Who knows, it'll take several hours before we get to the European or the Asian server, and they don't particularly matter since those accounts don't really have any chance of succeeding. I need to use my hero power a certain number of times, and I need to kill a certain number of enemies, and that's kind of it. I've unintentionally basically taken all of the Labor Day weekend holiday in the United States off, and kind of just due to that, I just have yet again found a way to not record as much as I should. I mean, this is far now from the point of just saying I've recorded less than I wanted. I've recorded less than I should. And stopping the kids 2 o'clock Central Time, I think, is when the kids shows air on weekdays. Stopping that certainly will help a little bit, but it's not going to help anywhere as much as
You are the shadow, the light.
Let's see. And I doubt this is gonna work. Darn it. Hearthstone's a little weird, actually, based on what triggers things and what doesn't. Because, for instance, Jades, if you have a card that summons a Jade Golem, will still increment it one health, 1 attack, even if your board is full of Jades. So if you had a 1/1, 2/2, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, and 7/7 Jade, and then you played another card to play a Jade, that would make this imaginary Jade card summon.
In the light's name.
And then if one of the characters on the field died, you would the next one you would summon would be a 9/9. Because of Labor Day too, I really haven't done the preemptive work that I should have. This is one of the things that honestly I should have done. Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't make really good sense to not do the preemptive work, but I know I've got a lot of web pages open, but there, I just alt-tabbed them all downward, so that was not helpful at all, in the sense that I minimized them all. But I'm thinking today what will happen is I probably am just going to do one very long video today. It may very well also be that nobody gets on the chat. That's certainly a possibility, a risk I'm taking in streaming really early. But then the risk is offset by the potential reward of bringing in new people. Of course, I didn't really calculate for Labor Day weekend, but I imagine people are not likely to have Tuesday off in great numbers. But, there was a Twitter chain that went on of a bunch of devs talking about how they tricked the players in certain ways, like the last bit of health in many games takes multiple hits, even though it seems like it would take exactly as much damage as every other hit in the game.
I can't do that.
That was a quick victory. I wonder if I was just taking too long. And see, the priest is already at rank 60, so massive progress being made for the daily quests. It's very circular logic, but if nobody gets on the chat, which I can't look at the chat right now, so I'll keep an eye on it on my phone, I guess. There we go. But if nobody gets on the chat, then people don't really talk to me, which is both a bad thing and a good thing, because people that talk to me usually want to interact even more, usually by asking me to play. If we get all the daily quests done really quickly and there's just nobody around, I could try to play some more ranked play. I've had a very frustrating experience for the past 2 days. That's the one thing I have been doing, is trying to play Hearthstone ranked play instead of pre-record other games. And one day in particular, I just made it nowhere. Rank 20 is, I would say it feels like it's 3 or 4 times more difficult than rank 19, and then rank 18 is a little bit easier than rank 19, and it just seems like it starts to get easier and easier until you get in the middle somewhere, and then you start playing with people that are actually skilled. But yeah, I was hoping that article talked better about all the tricks. There's a lot of tricks, of course. That's what video games are. They're if you're playing a board game, there's all kinds of saving rolls and elements designed to make the player have a fun experience. And that's the whole point, is games aren't real life. They're not designed to make you fail. They're designed to help you succeed, even despite yourself a lot of times. Let's see.
We hunger for vengeance.
Reading this article. Bullet Girls Fantasia announced for PS4 and Vita. Looks like a 3D MMO, not MMO, but RPG. Let's see. Do we have enough to do anything yet? We could do this. But that was probably wasteful. It's probably really wasteful. Announced for PS4 and Vita in the spring of 2018 in Japan. Half the games that get announced are only Japan. Let's see, the Switch has outpaced the PS4 in Japan. That makes some slight sense, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it was the other way around also. Truth of the matter is that
how many fingers do you see?
Job's done.
That last I heard, Japanese people weren't really using the Switch's portability factor, but they may simply just now start to see enough potential games. Let's see.
What is in
Says it is ultimately sold 1.5 million units of the Switch in Japan. For comparison, the PS4 has only moved 665,000 units in Japan during the 26 weeks after its own 2014. Oh, I see what they're saying. That makes a lot of sense. The Switch is a lot cheaper, so in the first 26 weeks of the Switch, it sold more, of course, than the PS4 because the PS4 is a lot cheaper. That's kind of a dumb logic thing, isn't it? Let's see.
Does this hurt? In the light's name. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
I imagine right when you compare apples to apples, though, like right now, there's probably more PS4 games, PS4 systems sold and being played right now in Japan than Switches. Here's an interesting story. I just watched Summer Games Done Quick. No, not Summer Games Done Quick, but the European Speedrunners Association put up a new video on their YouTube channel for Resident Evil 7, which is, I suppose, a game I want to get around to playing at some point. But I just watched this, and right after that, the Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition is announced, which is it's coming out in Japan for PS4, Xbox One, and PC December 24th. And that's interesting because there is a piece of DLC that they promised, a piece of free DLC that they promised to come out in spring of 2017. It's now fall of 2017 and it hasn't come out. This gold version doesn't seem to include that DLC, but it does seem to include an End of Zoe add-on, Zoe Baker After Story. So they just kind of silently, I think, canceled this DLC that is mentioned after you beat the game in Resident Evil 7 every time, so players can't even forget it if they wanted to, because the game is actively reminding people. What can you say about Capcom, though? I mean, Resident Evil 7 was good. They did a decent job. People loved it. But honestly, compared to other terrible video game companies, I guess Capcom's not that bad. You can just be aware of their inconsistency in quality. I mean, I'd have to really think to see if they've done anything as slimy or sleazy as EA or Ubisoft lately, or WB. Neck 2 is out. Here's a review for it. Just scroll down. I don't know why anybody would want to. Yeah, they don't even put a rating on it, do they? I don't know why people would want to play Neck 2 after Neck 1 not really failed to really interest that many people. On the other hand, though, I suppose if you were comparing Neck 2 to the Troll and I, which was a game that came and went and nobody bought or played, and from what I hear is downright one of the worst games we've seen probably in a good 3 or 4 years. I would guess you'd want to play NEC too. On the other hand, why not just maybe try the ReCore Definitive Edition? Or better yet, how about just not play any of those bad games until you hear a lot better? NEC 1 being a launch title for the PS4. It is a good mile marker, I suppose, of just how far the PS4 has gone now that they've gone from the initial series of games that were released, and you can see why in the first 26 months not that many people were buying the PlayStation 4s, because it didn't have any really interesting games or good games. But it's been probably about 4 years, maybe a little bit longer, and now we're in the sequels of launch title games. But also the PlayStation 4 has kind of failed to have anything really good when you start to think about things, for instance, like God of War. Has there been a new official Uncharted game on the PlayStation 4 besides the spin-off? I think maybe there was, but it didn't do that well, or it's just too little too late. What else does the PlayStation even really have? I know there wasn't another Heavenly Sword, and that was one of the few games I actually played on my PlayStation 3. Mostly they just brought in games, but they didn't even really hold on to major exclusives. So I think really I could say Sony has officially, in retrospect, dropped the ball from their major advantage compared to what the Xbox One said it was going to do. Like, nobody was liking what the Xbox One was going to do, and they had to do a complete 180 on their always online DRM and all of that garbage that the Xbox One wanted to do. But while the PlayStation did put out some good PR statements that got them some liking, they failed to really put out any games. The Final Fantasy game, I guess there must have been, yeah, there was a Final Fantasy game on PlayStation, but you can't sell to the whole world a PlayStation 4 just on a Final Fantasy game. I'd really like to hear somebody's argument if they bought a PlayStation 4 at any point and they have a really good argument now to get a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation Pro, because I just don't know what games, what game collection, what game lineup can you pull out to justify that upgrade to purchase yet another console. Now the Xbox One X is not much better in that case. Neither one of those upgraded systems are really, I think, designed for repurchases of regular people, or at least they shouldn't be designed for that. But that is, I imagine what they're both trying to do with the upgraded versions is get people like me who had the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and didn't have yet to buy either one of those, and I don't think, for me personally, that's gonna ever happen. I would much rather spend almost an equivalent or more money just buying a new video card for my PC than to buy a console. Particularly since there's very few console exclusives now. I could almost still see getting a console for kids, but if you're going to do that, you're going to get the Switch, and I guess that's the one thing that if Nintendo doesn't drop the ball, that that the Switch can succeed at is giving parents the clear choice of what to buy for their kids. Let's see.
You are the Shadow's puppet.
Let's see. What kind of game is this that this article's about? See, I know there's an anime by this name called Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And the game is called Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Infinite Combat. And it's launching for the PlayStation 4 and the PS Vita spring 2018 in Japan. Let's see. Dungeon exploration style RPG based on the light novel and anime. And anything that's based on a light novel, I don't pay enough attention to know that.
How many
but a lot
do
of
you see?
animes certainly are that way.
Do my bidding.
So I've noticed that the animation industry in particular has really embraced putting out PS4 and Vita games in Japan. But I could be actually wrong about that. It's very possible that they've always been doing that, and I've just gotten a better source of news as I've tried to be a better source of re-reporting news, so that I see all these games that come out for Japan only and never come over to the West. Which, if it doesn't come out to the West, it's not that good. Look at some of the games that Atlas brings over and some of the awful Japanese games that do make it over to consoles and to Steam. If something's not even making it up to that standard, you might as well not do it. Not bring it over. Let's see.
Does this hurt?
That didn't help me any, did it?
That minion already attacked.
Let's see. Summer Lesson. Summer Lesson Chisato Shinjo launches. Third episode in PlayStation VR series. I'm still not sure what really happens in this game, and already up to the third one. I don't think anything really happens to him. I think that it's just a VR kind of friend simulator, but it's not even that. It's you pretend you're being tutored by different Japanese girls. I'm surprised that it's even made it over to the West enough that I've heard of it, but it certainly is selling well enough. The problem with Japan, if I can editorialize a little bit here, is that there's literally no time or random occurrences in which people will meet up with other people and have romantic flings, and so there's fantasies that are abound in the minds of Japanese youth of, well, maybe if my tutor was really appealing, or more often than not, what if I had a stepbrother or a real brother that was really into me? Happens a lot too, because otherwise you're just never allowed to spend any time alone with anybody else. Everybody is either in big groups at school, and then apparently that just keeps going all throughout their youth into their adulthood, And yeah, it's not a good system, and it certainly is at least a small factor into the declining birth rate of Japan.
My fury.
The light shall bring victory.
It's not too odd or too different from the United States. Like in the United States, there's the babysitter fantasy. I suppose what if my babysitter was interesting and appealing and interested in me? Apparently the babysitting doesn't really happen in Japan, because I've never seen any mention of that. But unlike Japan and the West, there's many social organizations and many places you can go and hang out, and you can just go on dates and ask people out, and they're just too shy apparently in Japan to ever do that. So they have to think up these contrived scenarios. It's sad. Moving on to the next game. Earth Defense Force 4.1 Wing Diver, the shooter shoot 'em up. Is that all the name? I think that's all the name. No, it stops. It's the shooter is the name, and they need to put these things in parentheses when they write these articles, and they don't. Or quotation marks. Yeah, quotation marks would be the right thing. It's coming out for the PS4, digital only, 2,980 yen. It's a top-down bullet hell shooter. Lots of those. They've never appealed to me at all, just because they're too difficult. It's like, I'm glad Dark Souls was the really, really difficult style of game that became big in the world versus a bullet hell shooter, because if we had a ridiculously large amount of even more bullet hell shooters coming out for a game, for the video game industry, it would be wouldn't be very fun for me. I wouldn't be too happy about it. That being said, I didn't really succeed at Dark Souls either, so it's clearly any game that's built around being very difficult is gonna lose me, almost certainly. Here we go. Riot drops League of Legends level cap, and big changes are coming to leveling and rewards. Now, I don't follow League of Legends. The level cap of 30. Let's see, they're going to remove the level cap of 30 and merge it with Blue Essence. Merge IP with Blue Essence. Which they hope makes it more accessible to newcomers and more consistently rewarding for veterans. Yeah, I had heard something along the lines of old players were in this position where they really couldn't get any kind of reward or any kind of experience bonus anymore. And so the idea of making changes to make it just forever go on. Like, in Hearthstone, a good example I imagine could be made if my level 60 character got one card pack every time he leveled up one more time, I would be rather happy with that. That would be a rather nice way of rewarding. I suppose I'm a veteran. like that. I wouldn't call myself a veteran, but I guess I've been playing it long enough to be considered it. I'm not a newcomer, I guess. And long-time players, I suppose would be how I'd describe myself. And just getting one card pack every level up would probably have given me, I'm guessing, at least 30 to 40 extra card packs. That certainly would have been helpful. The other thing, if they wanted to be really, really generous, they could could instead give they could have given like one legendary to you after every time you've leveled up. So, summer games done quick, or games done quick, I guess. It's not just called summer games done quick. That's when they do it in the summer, but made a Harvey relief done quick, and it raised $227,000 for Hurricane Harvey victims. They certainly moved fast on that, and I didn't see anything like on their YouTube channel about it. So not only did they not really announce it or do anything, obviously the people that are following Games Done Quick better than me, I guess, saw it because they did get a decent amount of money. But I would almost want to go back and just see how much they raised last time. Yeah, they got 1.7 million for Doctors Without Borders, and in January they earned 2.2 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So yeah, I would say almost certainly they failed to tell people that they were going to do this,
Job's done.
that they were gonna do this thing. And honestly, coordinating all of that probably wasn't the greatest thing. Let's see, what did they do? Let's see. They were giving to the Houston Food Bank, and let's see. One other thing for the speedrun pins to be well, because let's see, is that Houston Harvey Games Done Quick overlaps with the previous Awesome Games Done Quick 2018 registration and submission dates. They've been pushed back by a week. Awesome Games Done Quick 2018 will run January 7th through 14th. Full details. Okay.
Warriors of the frozen wastes.
I'd like to see what they actually played. Let's see, I think they played Fable. I can see one picture here of them playing Fable. It honestly is a terrible way to do this, honestly. They would have been perfectly fine to say, do the regular Awesome Games Done Quick in its regular time and either have an extra event or have side donations going to the Houston Food Bank on top of whatever if they'd already picked whoever Awesome Games Done Quick is going to donate to. Like, the one thing that people consistently seem to make a mistake about is they forget about people in need after a week or two when it's not being reported. The people in Houston are certainly going to need help in January. They're certainly probably going to need help next January too, the January after this January. Like, this is major damage. It's going to affect people for years, at least 1 year. So doing it just to get it done didn't really raise them a lot of money. There was way too many other people and ways to donate that are easier and better known, and it's not really going to add that much in the long run. I imagine if they had waited till January and hyped it up and done the advertising, they would have easily gotten up to double, if not triple that amount. And I guess there's nothing really stopping them from doing it again, but just a little bit of planning. Here's an interesting story. Apparently, most of Gearbox, around 90%, are working on the new title. Randy Pitchford told the audience at a PAX panel on this weekend. It's the let's see, what is the quote here? It's the thing most of you guys want us to be working on. So, assumedly that's Borderlands 3. Of course, this is Randy Pitchford too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow spins that into something else. I don't know if that could be possibly accurate, because I'm trying to figure out in my head how big their publishing division is, because I wouldn't be surprised if more than 10% of their publishing division, more of 10% of their company is their publishing division, and they certainly wouldn't be working on that.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
This is an interesting side note. This article is the editorializing, saying they want Tales from the Borderlands from Telltale to be worked on and made. Tales from the Borderlands 2, but it's not going to. There's some weirdness there, I guess, because, and this might also explain why Borderlands 3 hasn't come out yet, is the voice actor for Scooter has, let's see if I can remember this without getting it completely wrong. He has something wrong with him, a long-term debilitating illness, and he was barely doing any work, but the company, Gearbox, wasn't firing him or anything. But he was barely showing up for work for about a year, and then he finally just said no. And he certainly saw that coming, so they killed Scooter, the character, who is a beloved character.
You want it?
So, this being Borderlands, a series, I suppose you could bring back Scooter as like a robot with a robot voice, or some kind of cyborg, and just give him a different voice if you wanted to. Or you could pretty easily just ignore what happened in Tales from the Borderlands, but I think he won't be seen in Borderlands 3. You know, you could probably get rid of about half of the characters in Borderlands 1 and 2 and pare it down, but also that would probably be a mistake, so who knows. Hopefully they are working on Borderlands 3. It is good. There is Borderlands pre-sequel, which is a slight concern there, because that game did exist, and it wasn't as good as Borderlands 2. Let's see if there is there any real article in this, or is this just a Nope, not really. There's an article just talking about how Steam's rules on adult content continue to baffle. I think it's pretty obvious, they've even said it directly, that they don't quite understand the laws in all areas that they sell games, and they don't have a legal team really working on it, so they just kind of flippantly choose one way and then the other, depending on which title is getting flagged, which seems really ridiculous considering they sell movies, and if they ever want to get to being a major movie seller, then they're going to have to tackle that issue. Let's do this. But it's just like asking Valve to get anything done and do anything right is ridiculous. Valve is literally that idiot friend that you love to hang out with, but is always screwing up and never gets anything done with his life. And then there's if it came down to them fixing Steam or them making Half-Life 3 or Portal 3 or anything 3, Left 4 Dead 3, I think most people would still take the game. Although, you know, in the longer run, maybe the Steam improvements. And they do try to work on Steam. I think I didn't think the new Discovery update was going to work as well as it seems that it has. I've really gone either through defollowing curators or through just their update. I've really gone from seeing tons of garbage games to seeing decent games, but very repetitively. I haven't seen a lot of new games lately. That might be a problem too.
Want it? I got it.
Here's a PC Gamer article about a Z-Doom Wolfendoom mashup. It's called Wolfendoom Blade of Agony. So it's half Doom and half Wolfenstein. Which, let's face it, all Doom is the next iteration of Wolfenstein. And made by the exact same company. All that time ago.
You want it? I got it.
Apparently Sonic Mania has a loving tribute to a Sonic hacker who tragically died. Motobug, the bad... What was it? Badnik? Well... I have to, I guess, applaud Sega for doing this in the game and not making it DLC that costs $5 and then saying in 48 of the 50 countries or 46 of the 50 states of the United States they'll give $3.50 of that $5 to a charity. And if none of that makes sense, that's exactly what WB did when one of the creators of the upcoming Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War games did. People probably should have seen this one coming. American McGee is working on an Alice 3 proposal. Alice 3, I guess it would be the sequel to Alice Madness Returns, which came out probably about 10 years ago. Now, the reason why people should have seen this, he's calling it Alice Asylum right now, is that he was pushing some other project that he was working on, and I still think that this is also just him playing games to push his other project. But in pushing that project, he got an article published where he said, "Stop asking me about another Alice thing. You have to talk to Electronic Arts." And so go bug Electronic Arts. So maybe enough people actually did go bug Electronic Arts and somehow convince them to actually want to do something, which is, I find that doubtful. Like, Electronic Arts E3 presentation was pretty awful. Like 5 games, 2 of which were Star Wars games. Maybe that's what this is really coming about, is they're looking at their schedule for the next couple of years and they're like, we can't just do another Battlefront and another Star Wars game and another Star Wars game. We can't just be the company with 5 Star Wars games coming out in a single year. So maybe they'll let him actually make it. I'd love to see it. Just for the craziness of it. Like, American McGee, I suppose, is the equivalent of the artist that paints with chopsticks or something. His art may not be that good, but at least it's unique and different.
Job's done.
Let's see. And the turn. You can buy a discounted SSD thing. No, this is in Europe, and this is just an affiliate link ad from Rock Paper Shotgun. Man, I have really gotten to the point where I just hate almost every single video game website, every single video game critic, every single reviewer. I don't know if it's me that's changed or if it's them that's changed or if it's just that I've realized things about them. Honestly, I think when X-Play, to go really far back, when X-Play went out of business and G4 stopped being really G4, there just started to be this shift in my perception of the video game critic world, and it's just slowly gone downhill from there. In fact, I was mostly on board and just like, okay, this isn't quite as good, but it's still pretty good. And for many, many years, until a couple of years ago, maybe just this year, honestly. But now I'm just to the point, it's like, I've got to do it for my job. Maybe the fact that it's become my job has made it work. Whereas before, if I didn't want to listen to a bombcast, I could have just stopped listening to it. I forget his name all the time, and it sucks. But the guy who ran Giant Bomb died several years ago, and just tragically from sleep apnea. And after he died, I think his name was Ryan Davis, but I could be wrong. After he died, it just started to fall apart, really. He was the main personality there, holding together all the other personalities. He was truly naturally funny, where the people that have come in and gone are trying to be, but they're not that good. And then they broke apart their entire website to it from a West Coast East Coast thing, which has severely limited their chances of interactions. So less potential interactions causes the podcast to not be interesting at all most of the time, and that's not how you want it. There's a YouTube video out talking about how the Super NES Super Mario Kart was made using Mode 7 and really did a lot of tricks to make it work in 3D and look pretty good in 3D. I don't I saw it, so it's one of the channels I follow. It's just I don't remember which one it was. I just closed the page, so who knows? I'll never know. What's this game? Game called Nightmare Creatures from an independent developer called Albino Moose. It's a game. Nightmare Creatures horror game series 17 years after the release of the previous entries. Nightmare Creatures 2. Wow. Alright. Let's... That still didn't work, did it?
Face the light. Don't be shy.
No. 17 years. Let's see what this video looks like.
I wonder.
For Najata. Don't be shy. Face the light.
Well, it looks like kind of an Eternal Darkness style game. And it looks like a sequel to a 17-year-old game, but I mean... This is gonna be too little too late. Honestly, this does not look like something that has a modern day, like, Unreal Engine 4 modeling in it. Yeah, this game to me looks like it's dead on arrival. I don't see any reason that people would want to play this just from the looks of it. And it's not like I've even heard of Nightmare Creatures. And so either I have a blind spot in my knowledge, which is certainly possible. There could be some medium to niche fan favorites out there that I simply have no knowledge of, but I certainly don't think there's any major things that I've simply never heard of.
Job's done.
Here's an article talking about System Shock 2 for no real reason. That's another thing with the game industry to complain about. Just fanboys being video game reporters and just constantly talking about their favorite games even though there's no new news of it. Like, I'm surprised there aren't more articles for things like, what is that? What is the game? Psychonauts. Or Beyond Good and Evil 2. Both games that are actually in development to have sequels with them, but also very big fan favorites. I guess we'll probably see more articles around that. Let's see. So Swery's next game, The Good Life, is an interesting one.
How many fingers
It has more than I would have thought as far as 3D graphics. I thought it was going to be a 2D flat animated game, and no, it really isn't. It's a 3D game. This is the game where you turn into cats at night, although I don't even think that's a major part of it. It seemed like in the trailer I saw, it's more of a life simulator. You play as this struggling woman. There's some question if it might actually be the first game ever that requires the player to buy sanitary napkins for the female protagonist, and whatever she has to buy comes out of money you have to earn as the player through doing menial tasks. So the good life almost feels something akin to what, Stardew Valley in a sense. Some of those other games where it's farming and growing things. Nier Automata, it's now been 6 months and that patch still hasn't happened. So Platinum Games and Sega both proving yet again this growing theory that Japanese people cannot stay on schedule. They seem to have no care for it at all. I would argue though, what good is it for them to send out a patch if it doesn't fix everything? I guess maybe we would be more forgiving of that if they just put out, here's a tiny patch we're putting out this month, and just every month whatever they can get done, put it out for PC. I don't think any real reason not to do that. Does Steam in some weird way charge more money because of that? I don't know. Like, I don't know if any updates in Steam cost anything. I've never heard anybody ever say that. That's true, sure, for console games, but that's not even really the issue with Nier Automata. The console versions, I think, work fine. I'm just gonna wait. Anyways, that's not even the article that this was about. This article I left open is talking about Nier Automata's fashion, which, frankly, they don't deserve another advertisement if they're gonna take so long to fix their game to run correctly. I can't be incredibly upset with Nier Automata though, because in all honesty, I still will probably buy the game. I still will probably play the game. I guess I'm just doing slightly better than most people because I haven't yet done it. Let's see. Idea Factory's Otome announces several new Otome visual novels for the PlayStation 4 and PS Vita. Let's see. So, a Cinderella themed Otome visual novel. Let's see. I guess I could go through all of these and just name them. The Cinderella and Felica. Let's see. Charade Maniacs. None of these are coming to the West. You can pretty much guarantee it. Visual novels on the PS Vita. The only reason why the PS Vita is still made in Color X Malice. Diabolic Lovers. I think I probably named some of these before. Pure no Banshu. Shinku no Homura. Shanada no Nipuchu. Let's see. Shoritsu Verba Gakuen, The Rose of Versailles, Real Imagination. A lot of these are downright just theft of
In the light's name.
open source and like copyright free stories. Shiro Tukuro no Alice, new title. That's basically Alice in Wonderland. With a twist, of course. They all have a twist. Tengai ni Mao
Where shall I
Ikanahana Triangle Project is coming to PC. While the rest of those, I think, are all Vitas. And then Variable Barricade. So that's just a full article of games coming to Japan and no else. Let's see.
In the light's name.
I will purify the fallen.
There we go. Let's see, there's this feel-good shooter mixes Dragon Quest inspired 2D art with 3D worlds. It's called Away Journey to the Unexpected.
In the light's
Let's
name.
watch that video.
Die as you lived.
Let's skip this video. Come on, show me some footage. Well, this is just an interview.
We're gonna be rich.
And camera pointed at a screen. You're just a kid looking for the answer to one of childhood's greatest. What are your parents' jobs? Interesting. 8 to 10 hour story that begins for the central hub of your grandparents' house. Well, if I kill this guy, nothing's gonna happen, so I just gotta do this. Interesting. You know, this game does look like something I've seen before. Is that Dragon Quest? I'm gonna have to Google what Dragon Quest is, because there's certainly a game like that. Let's see. Images of Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is the one with the slimes. No, I'm thinking of something different. An old NES game, but maybe that was a Dragon Quest game after all. Well, that's certainly an interesting one, I suppose. At least one game came out of PAX so far that's actually caught my interest. Hey, we got somebody on the chat. Finally. Ninja Fish came on the chat. Hello, rank 1 last season. Low, so close yet so far. But I'm focusing on Overwatch. Gotta get good at that now. Interesting. Like, yeah. How much, Ninja Fish, if you don't mind, how much from rank 1 did you get knocked down when the month ended? Like, where do you start when you get up to rank 1? Should I kill this? I don't see any reason to kill that. Blizzard is going to reveal a nerf this week for the Druid class. I'm not exactly what they specifically can do to destroy Jade Druid, short of just destroying all the Jade cards, which would be too much. Like, what is the tiny small thing you can do to stop Jade Druid from working and being just so overpowered? What they changed in Knights of the Frozen Throne, from what I hear, seems to have only made it worse. So, yeah, I don't have a clue. Let's do this. I'm gonna be 1 short. Let's see. We have a Gintama Ranbu is officially titled Gintama Rumble. Senpachi and Kagura. Let's see, it's a Namco, Bandai Namco game. Let's see. Samurai Melee Action World. It will launch for the PS4 and Vita in Japan and the PS4 in Southeast Asia. And wow, Singapore and Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. The release date has been yet to be announced. Now, PC Gamer does this 5 Steam games you've probably missed each week, and I haven't been reading it in the past couple of weeks. It's about 50-50 as to whether I've actually heard it. Songbringer, I saw a quick look of that. It looks like it might be an interesting game, but it might also be pretty slightly off, slightly irritating, because it's this roguelike repetitive thing. I think I need 1 more priest victory, and that's kind of it. On a roll. It's a skateboarding game. Is this in full motion video? No? It's not that. It's a skateboarding game. Or no, this is actually roller skates that I'm saying. Not skateboards. Skating sim.
The light shall bring victory.
Well, that's interesting, I suppose. Somebody's got to make a skating game every once in a while, or the world might implode, it seems. Lords of Waterdeep, that's probably, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. So that'll catch some people's eyes. But I should just look at these games. I should mention them. Last Days of June is a narrative-driven adventure game.
In the light's name.
Job's done.
You know, I'd pay a lot more attention to new games if I was at the point where I was so starved for new games and had the budget that I could just buy them all. Certainly that could be one of the few things I would do live. Like, people in the last stream were certainly asking about why don't you play more games live, and usually it's because I need to focus and I'm trying to make these permanent entire runs, entire criticism. It's like long form theses on games, and streaming live and dealing with the chat and people is not really conducive to that. So, however, if I was to the point where I could just buy all the new games that looked interesting, even 5 games once a week, and just like at a specific time once a week where I would just look at new games, that would be interesting, certainly.
Again!
Let's see, there's a game called Moonlighter where you're part-time adventurer, part shopkeeper, which I think really is just kind of a different way of saying you're going to be playing a lot of inventory management in this RPG game, but we've changed it and we're selling it as a different thing. And this is another one of those PAX videos where it's just mostly footage of people at PAX, which is not informative.
Does this hurt?
Job's done.
Darn, freezing trap. Should have attacked, then played it. Apparently, according to this article, TF2 is full of people who are cheating, and it is really ruining the experience for people who are not trying to cheat. I don't know if that's really true, but that's what that's what the article posted by a regular person. Just somebody posted a post to Reddit is the right way to phrase that. And see, that's the entire news, and that's not even, we barely gone like an hour and 15 minutes, just as a rough estimate. Let's do this.
Job's done. Well played.
So I don't know if I really feel like I did anything too badly here by just reading the articles from my browser instead of doing that. Apparently Ubisoft is making a 4th studio in Quebec, spending 135 million and hiring 125 employees. Isn't Ubisoft also fighting off being owned by Viacom? So, but that might actually help them.
Well played.
Ubisoft Montreal, whenever they post anything, they have to post it both in French and English because they choose to. I don't know if they're actually required to do that on Twitter. I don't see any other people do it, really. And that's kind of it. So that's it for news. How are we on daily quests? I need to use the hero power 6 more times. Alright. Let's play standard and see how this goes. I was given this pirate druid deck. It's not working for me. Got Requiem Reapers on the on the chat saying hello, hello.
You asked for it.
For Doomhammer.
So now I can just focus on the chat and focus on ranked play. You can tell I've been playing this a lot, 58 to 57 games on this deck. Way more games than anybody else. Than any of my other decks. I mean, yeah, I'm sure plenty of other people have played more games. And I'm making moderate progress, but it's frustratingly slow. And it's right now just in the middle of the worst timing ever. Like, honestly, after that first day of trying to play ranked play and getting nowhere after 6 to 8 hours of playing ranked, I was still at rank 20, and I'm like, I think this is probably going to convince me not to play ranked. Like, I know Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion came out. I said for the first time ever, instead of focusing on doing daily quests, which I'm still mostly focusing on doing daily quests, that's just the way it kind of has to be. Otherwise, you just won't get the gold, and the gold is, in the longer run, better. Let's see, this and this attack. So So yeah, after that first day, I was already to the point where I was like, maybe I'm just not gonna do ranked, and I'm still very much considering that as a backup possibility, that I may just decide not to do ranked play. Do I get anything for playing here? Not really. It's just end the turn. Of course, this is the problem here, is that, like, if I'm going to really focus, I've got to really focus, and it's really hard for me to focus on playing when I know in the back of my head I should be entertaining and should be talking, and I also am just streaming and not paying attention. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save myself from this. Let's see. If I do these two, that kills it, but then this would have to do 7 damage, and it's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna do this, and end the turn. I have noticed that while playing people that Doomsayer gets played a lot as board clear. Requiem Reaper says, I think you're entertaining. Thank you. I try to be. I am certainly having a growing frustration with YouTube channels that I visit once and then YouTube keeps recommending them to me, or it's possibly that I'm seeing the same YouTube channels over and over again because I'm looking for very specific things that only have a few videos about them, and the people on those channels are just very annoying to listen to. Requiem Reaper says Doomsayer is the top 6 played card. That might be an interesting deck to build if I get into the point where I'm just doing really crazy things. Just build the top 30 played cards. I bet you probably can't, though. See, this guy does 2 damage at the end of each turn, so he can just end his turn and kill everybody but this guy. That was a waste. I should have played these 2 cards. That's what I'm talking about. Pay attention. Gotta pay attention. The top 10 cards are all Druid except Doomsayer. So that alone probably would be how they're gonna nerf Druid, I would guess, is take that number 1, 2, and 3 cards and change them completely. At the core of it, they just need to stop how the Druid works, the Jade Golem works. Like, it needs to stop being a +1/+1 attack, and instead it needs to be, you know, if they just made it +1 attack each time, but it's, let's see, it's I don't know how you do it. Like, if it was always 1 health on a Jade Golem, and then it was glass cannons, which
Warriors of the frozen wastes.
then that would make a lot of sense. So instead of summoning a 1/1 and then a 2/2, it summoned a 1/1, then a 2/1, then a 3/1, then a 4. Requiem Reaper says 2/3 of the top Druid cards are all base and Jade. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of the base ones first. Finally. 4 damage here. 4 damage here. Yeah, Blizzard is gonna nerf Druid hard in the near future, I think, says Requiem Reapers. They announced they were gonna nerf it this week, so you don't even have to think. You can know for certain. This in the turn. This guy is playing for keeps, certainly. It's not gonna give me an easy victory. You just stole one of my best cards. Requiem Reapers, did I manage to get Arthas yet? Nope, I haven't made any progress on Arthas. I mean, you can see I barely made any progress even on rank play. It's really pathetic.
You apart.
That's like the best way to be unhappy in life is to compare yourself with others.
Amazing.
But certainly I am doing some of that when I see other people just not struggle. And it's really just because I don't have experience playing ranked, not in a legitimate fashion. I've been just kind of goofing around on it.
My magic will tear you apart.
And yeah, Arthas literally is not gonna happen for probably 6 months to a year. It's always gonna get knocked down in priority. Anything else that's more important will get done before I spend the extra hours fighting the Lich King. Unless I see like a guaranteed ways to win, which I've not seen that. I've seen ways that you'll probably win if you spend a lot of effort on it. But I haven't seen things that's like that guarantee victories. If I somehow turn this around, that would be amazing. That would be amazing at 4 health. If I somehow turn this around, but I don't think so. That ain't likely to happen. Yep. I suppose what has to happen is I have to... Man, I need one more hero power. I have to determine that it's not worth my time to play ranked again. After just starting to play ranked this last month. I would have to determine it's not worth my time. And then do Arthas instead. And... maybe that is the case, maybe it isn't. Honestly, from my perspective, I think it's going to be even more frustrating to make videos where I'm just trying to beat the Lich King over and over again than it is to play ranked against real people. Because at least when I'm playing real people, they're not doing the same strategy over and over again, and I'm not resetting over and over again. But Requiem Reapers wants me to go get Arthas. Maybe we'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, we're in a weird position here. It's 8:19 in the morning. I have been awake for a long time, far too long. But
job's done.
So if I can get the European and Asian server daily quest done, which frankly the European won't even have two quests, which is fine. You know, I needed to cycle that one around anyways, because the European daily quest comes a lot later in the day than the other one. So I just need to use this hero power once, but I think I might actually win. But you really gotta get the win streaks if you want to go up. You gotta get 3 wins in a row, 4 wins in a row, 5 wins in a row. After about the 5th win in a row, you can lose once, and then you need to get 3 more wins in a row. At least that's my experience.
Not on my watch.
Let's see. I think if I could get these poisoned, that'd be really nice. But that's not gonna work. If you don't get the win streak, you don't get the win streak anymore if you hit rank 5. After rank 5, there's no win streak. Oh, well, that's good to know. I'll take that into consideration if I ever get up to rank 5. All these cards can't do anything with any of them. The Tar Creeper is good at blocking. I was hoping for poison. I've played this 3 times now, and I've wanted to get poison and not gotten it. Alright. This...
Job's done.
Requiem Reaper says, "Ugh, why do you get all the noobs?" XD, I am more than happy to fight noobs because that's the only people I can beat. It's probably because I'm at rank 18 if I was to guess. I get matched with amazing players all the time. This is weird. Requiem Reapers keeps mistyping get.
Reporting for duty.
I swear he did it once before. Maybe he typed something else wrong. His E and G keys seem like they're backwards. Yeah. E, G, E, T once, and then E, G, T. No, it's E, G, T both times.
I wonder.
I think his keyboard might be messed up. It's Requiem Reaper says, "I think ahead while I am typing, hence why I misspell." Interesting.
Follow the rule.
Back in my days when I was really into programming and keyboarding, I was rather good at touch typing, so I didn't really think ahead. I just typed as I thought, right in line with it, very fast. I think I was clocked at one time at somewhere around 86 words per minute with 100% accuracy. Maybe it was 66. It was a rather high number, and it's not like people these days particularly want particularly care how fast you can type these days. Keyboarding's a lost art, and of course people could certainly type a lot faster if the keyboards were in the right or better order. They're specifically designed to slow down people so back when you were using an actual typewriter, you wouldn't get the typewriter things, the typewriter pieces of metal stuck together. Requiem Reaper says, "So as I am typing, I'll think of the world, and while I'm typing it, I'll start thinking of another world." I have a very similar issue like that, except for it's in talking. As I'm talking, I'll be thinking of another word or thinking of something else, and it will cause me to either go or stutter or say the wrong thing. So I certainly understand your pain, Requiem. Requiem Reapers is an interesting mental image. Some group of people, one would assume, of Grim Reapers probably, that are running around killing musical scores designed to eulogize dead people. Because that's what a Requiem is a musical score. A lot of autocorrect and autospell issues too certainly make it easy to not have to be very good at typing. The only thing you really have to be good at typing is when you're programming, because not too many autocorrects or correct spelling things in that. At least last time I looked there wasn't. Requiem Reaper says I gotta head out here, so I'll see you later. Yeah, I imagine that's gonna be the case. I totally get it. Like, starting earlier is gonna be good for new people if new people want to come on the stream, maybe, but also probably bad for anybody that's been a fan up to this point, because they've all been watching at very different times. As I've said, as I always say, it's becoming a habit. It's just like, the stream will be here. You can always come back later and check it out if you want to. Trying not to be pushy, trying not to show myself too much. Let's go ahead and freeze this guy. And do that. And if I could just get that bloodlust. Have a good day, Requiem Reapers, wherever you may be going. Maybe I should put like a pre-recorded show at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning. It's certainly something I've thought about. I could not spread out. I could spread out. Let me say that correctly. When I release my pre-recorded stuff. Let's see.
Like sweating insects. Don't have enough mana.
There we go. The thing that would really talk me against the idea of releasing a pre-recorded show in the morning is I would feel like a show that comes out in the morning, because my mentality and how I manage my channel is very much from decades of watching TV. It comes right down to an attempt to emulate that, and it's blatant and obvious. That's what I'm attempting to do. Well, I don't even know what to do here, but we'll try. So if I'm going to emulate TV and do an early morning show, I would feel like I would have to be upbeat and energetic and just like happy-go-lucky. That's really what I think about on morning shows. Like whether it's a game show, whether it's a news show, whether it's a talk show, whether it's a soap opera. Soap opera is maybe being slightly a stretch there. And there I've fallen down to rank 19. I've made it up to rank 17. And that's all the daily quest for the Americas account. So let's switch over to the Asian account. Skip around here to that. And we're now about an hour over. And I have really no desire to break up the recording.
Come tell us a story or two.
And see, here's the deal with Asia and the European account. Either one of them is that both of these need to cycle around and just lose a day. So 2 games with the Druid or Hunter. So can we make a Hunter deck with a Battle Cry? Let's see. Battle Cry, Battle Cry, Battle Cry, Battle Cry. Let's see, we still have a ton of these, so it doesn't make any sense not to just try to do as many as possible. How do I have mind control tag on the Asia account? That doesn't make sense. Well, that worked. Apparently I even have 1 extra rare. Get me up to 50 dust. And see, if we're going to talk about solo adventures, One Night in Karazhan honestly strikes me as a slightly more important thing for me to do than getting Arthas. I know Arthas is the new thing, but once I get to Spire, you get more cards. You actually get cards instead of getting a face. Alright, Hunter time. And I've got to get those ranked wins just at the very least, because I want to get I want to get up to rank 20 and get the card back. That's kind of the only reason. I just want to get card backs. And see, I haven't even cared that much on my cell phone account, which is my secondary account, I suppose, at this point. Although the Americas and European account are still my first account, it's just on different servers. But on my cell phone, I've gone months and months and months and not played it at all.
For Doomhammer.
In fact, that account really has very little value to me at all now, unless I need to play myself or for a challenge a friend or watch and learn, which probably won't occur because live streaming has gotten me more than enough people to want to play me, or the help there. Of course, that is a lot of leaning on my fans, which people don't seem to mind too much. In fact, they seem to be more than enthusiastic, willing to help. Could I do this and this? Nope. So I'm just going to do this. So 2 victories, play, and in the meantime play most of these cards, and I think I'm good. I would hate to encourage Blizzard to introduce cards that are like have a limited number of uses. That seems insane, but it wouldn't be a terrible idea. I don't think. This is off the top of my head. Maybe this is a terrible idea. I'm gonna walk that back and say maybe this is a terrible idea, but I'm thinking perhaps if there were a collection of cards that made it easier for new players to win, and then at rank 10 or 20 those cards got broken or disappeared, that might not be terrible. And I'm thinking doing something very basic, like if you play 30 battle cry cards, you win. Might not be a terrible idea. Poisonous or +3 attack. So yeah, play 30 battle cries, you win. Like a quest. Beginner's quest cards. That would be great. That would be really, really great. And you really, if it was something ridiculously silly like that, where you literally had to play 30 battle cry cards, that means anybody who is worth their salt wouldn't ever play those cards, because it would be way too easy and way too common for you to get milled and destroy one card, or for them to play one card that destroys one of your cards, or simply for them to just win before you play all 30 of your deck. So if they kept it on like that, and then you could have beginner quests like play 30 Death Rattle, play 30 Murlocs, play 30 Pirates, play 30 spell cards. If they keep them all at 30, it would be really pointless goals for anybody except for people that are just don't have a lot of cards. On the other hand, if they could just maybe get ranked to work the way it's supposed to work. Like people are saying I'm playing against noobs, and I don't play against noobs enough when I'm at rank 23 or rank 20. I'm still losing, and that's with my best so far Murloc deck. I kind of wonder if just somehow my deck, my collection of cards on the Americas account, managed to miss all the important things.
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
Seriously, darn it. Like, I just somehow missed getting all the good legendaries. I just somehow managed to miss getting all the good epics. I'm wondering if somehow that's the case, because But it makes a lot more sense for me to say I'm mentally missing strategies than it is for me to blame the card collection on my main account, because frankly my main account has too many cards to really make that argument. I'm very possibly playing the wrong cards. Very, very possibly. And I'm definitely still missing some epics. I'm definitely still missing a lot of legendaries.
I must protect the wild. Let the hunt begin.
And Blizzard doesn't seem like it really rewards you for consistent play in an appreciable fashion. Let me put it this way. I've probably logged in every month for at least a year and a half. I don't think I've missed a single month of Hearthstone. It didn't give me anything for logging in at least once every week. It didn't give me anything for logging in at least once a month for any amount of time. The only thing you get is if you get to rank 20, you get those card backs, but you really have to work for that. And in all honesty, it should just have a welcome back bonus of something. Now, I don't play Hearthstone every single day, but I can almost guarantee you I have gone full months where I've logged in every single day and at least traded the daily quest. No rewards for that either. There's so many different ways Blizzard could have thrown me a bone and given me a classic legendary, which is really what I need. And they just don't do it. And so that has me teetering on a weird edge. I'm not really on the edge, but I'm going closer and closer to this weird edge where either I'm going to be just frustrated away from the game because I never get any cards, really, any important cards, or I get frustrated enough with the games to spend money on it, which we all know which one Blizzard is hoping happens. Are any of these beasts?
Where shall
Not a single one.
This beast will not be tamed.
Let's see. Stealth. Oh, Wind Fury. We're gonna go with stealth. And can I do anything else? Not really. I guess if I had taken Wind Fury, I could have given him +2/+2, but he still would have died. I'm starting to yawn. And there's really no cure for insomnia, so staying up till, let's say I stay up till noon and then go to sleep, it's like, well, then it will be 8 to 10 in the evening when I wake up again, and then I'll just be awake probably for 12 hours. 12 to 16 hours after that. See if I do this. That won't be enough. Right. 2, 4, 6.
Tazdingo! Yes!
I would gladly pay for like a pill or a switch in my head just to flip it and immediately fall asleep. But almost certainly something like that would be either very addictive or very dangerous. Now let's see, I'm playing battle cry cards and need victories. So if I can get one victory here, which probably, he's a 25, I'm a 23. Which probably means there are no other 25s. Like, you don't even fall down to 25 without not playing the game a lot. Apparently that's the first time I've ever seen that, or the game just decided it was necessary to tell me that again.
The eternal hunt has begun.
Scavenging hyena combined with stealth and poisonous. That's a 5/5. That is quite the thing. Of course I need to play this every turn. Let's see. We'll take the rat pack and we will take lifesteal. That'll be an 8 mana character. He'll break into 8 6/1/1 minions. Of course, in the meantime, I need something with taunt.
A natural mistake. Spectacular. The circle of life is over.
And see, this does 3 attack or 3 armor. And that refilled my health. It just refilled my health twice, actually. let's see. Plus 3 health.
Staggering.
Plus 1/1.
The web unravels. Senseless fate.
Well, that's gonna be a victory. And see, with the zombie build-a-beast ability, I guess you could just keep doing this over and over again.
You win. I can rest now.
So yeah, maybe if I got up to, I only need to play 2 more Battlecry cards and win. So if this is a quick victory and I play 2 cards, I'm done with the Asian account. Yeah, maybe if I get up to rank 5, I would be in the long haul and really have to work. But honestly, I don't think like there's gonna be a big difference in my mind between finishing a month at rank 5 and rank 4. I'd be so happy with just being that high. I'd be like, okay, good enough. It's like it's gonna take at least a year of me consistently ending at rank 5 or rank high, something that high, before I get jaded and decide that I want more.
Amazing.
And clearly people have been just playing ranked the whole time for years, and that's all they've been focused on instead of getting cards.
The light protects.
So, or they've been spending money, which is the other thing. And I guess inherently I will always just be the second-class citizen until I fork over a couple $100 to $1,000 worth of card packs, which I'm not willing to do.
Hey, you want to buy a funnel cake?
Locked and loaded.
So that's 2 battle cries. We're done. We can now just focus, hopefully, on winning. And see, I guess in the order of priority, getting to rank 20 is higher priority than just getting Arthas. So that's yet another thing that...
Fire!
Let's go ahead and do this.
A battle to eat you with.
So he can't play it. Or he has to do something like that, which isn't too bad.
One shot, one kill.
Yeah, and I don't see a reason why I wouldn't win here, but I've said that many times before and been proven wrong. Ninja Fish came and at the beginning, and then left or stopped commenting, which I guess is fine. Thanks for the 2 comments. There is this weird sliding scale on comments. Like the first person to comment on the chat for a while, whether it's at the very beginning or after, say, 5 or 10 minutes of a lull in anybody commenting is probably doing a lot more than the person who's putting a comment right after somebody else has commented, because it's comments per minute, and I think there's probably a massive number of live videos always going on YouTube with 0 comments per minute. So honestly, it's once per minute there should be a comment, and certainly Nightbot can try to help on that a little bit, but I don't know if YouTube has caught on to Nightbot. They suggested it, so let's see. Poisonous or +3 attack? I'll just take poisonous in this case. And this.
If you're sure.
On with the show.
Let's see. Hmm. 5/5 Murloc. Just trying really hard here.
If you're sure.
Fire!
He's got 2 more cards. Destroy his weapon just for fun. Play this for fun. Do this. Do this. So we can do this and this for more experience. And there we are. And that's our 2 daily quests as far as what we've got at 9 AM, and there's we're up to rank 22, and that's, I think, good enough for me for the next 3 days. And so now it's just time to go over to the European account. And yeah, now that we are about 2 hours into streaming, like, pretty quiet.
Where have your journeys
But
taken you?
there's still this performance anxiety, certainly. Like, and there's also just a lot of time and work that's needed to get things to try and actually win. So I don't really want to go and play ranked. Druid or Rogue. Cost 5 or more. Well, we're gonna have to make something here. So we'll try Rogue. I hate that you can't double click on these things. It's probably not even spells, I would bet. Bet the daily quest is. How many of these do we have? There we go. Minions that cost 5 or more. Yep. They're not even spells, so. On this custom rogue. Let's get rid of this. And this. And this. And that. You know, we haven't used Mana Worm in a long time. Like, I haven't ever used it on screen, actually. And I guess I won't use it here either. If this works, I will be a monkey's uncle. This is probably the worst deck that you could possibly build without actively trying to build a worse deck. It's gonna have literally nothing to do for 5 turns.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
This card you can't even play. That's pointless. Maybe. Time to adjust my Nest thermostat. Normally I'd be asleep right now and I wouldn't care that it was 78 degrees. Or the thermostat was set to that temperature, but since I am awake, that is a little toasty.
Here we go.
I guess I could slowly try to reduce my damage by just taking 6 damage and killing this guy instead of letting him hit me for 3 turns because I know I'm not going to have anything at all to play.
Ash to ash.
This would only reduce its cost if I could steal a card, which I can't.
We go.
So best case scenario, 4th turn I play the coin, this. Maybe it gets me to a point where I could play the Bone Baron, get 2 1/1 skeletons. This would be much better to play as a druid. Druid has the ability to give you extra mana crystals temporarily or once per turn. Or temporarily or permanently. I am certainly having a debate in my head about how often and when I should take days off. Clearly, there's a part of me that needs to take days off because I'm not really accomplishing things on certain days. I sort of accidentally took Labor Day off, not because it was Labor Day weekend, but because I just didn't really want to play Costume Quest 2. And maybe that'll eventually get down to the point is I'll just have to make a video going, look, I just don't want to play this game. I also think I need to implement a strict rule as far as if you don't want to play one game, you launch the next game and you play that, even if it's a little odd and out of order. Right now it's certainly not working. I'm finding other distractions. I'm doing other things. I'm not recording also, and I'm not even scheduling. So if I was going to accomplish that, if I was gonna just refuse to record, I should schedule, and that's not really happening either. Alright, that's a really dumb, really dumb deck. Let's switch to a druid. We can play druid before it gets nerfed. And let's see. If we have these two and these two and this and we need a 5 with taunt, and a heal's not a bad idea, and a taunt's not a bad idea. Maybe we can do this too. We'll take that. That'll work. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. I got room for one more. That seems good. At least that's a little bit better of an idea. And see, I think I only need one more victory. And I'm at rank 20 on the European account, which, okay, good. Got a couple people
Your soul shall be mine.
playing
I must protect
right now. Let's see. I suppose trade all of those to get as many mana crystal cards we can get, which still was none. If I'd gotten 2 and this, I could have played a 5 on the first turn. I think. Actually, I wouldn't even need a coin in that example.
For the wild.
Of course, a druid against a warlock. We're already gonna start with a slight advantage. Of course, I'm blowing that small advantage by playing ridiculously for a daily quest.
My eyes are open. For the wild.
There's still a problem of time management with even with having friends if they're willing to help you. It's really slow. Let's try this.
Attend me. Job's done. Ready, sir.
So if I didn't get 2 wins here and I looked towards friends to let me get wins, they're probably going to let me win, but only if I actually play them, which means you're in for at least 30 to 40 minutes of 2 games. And see, if this were the 80s and I was playing a like Nintendo game, the NES game, I probably would put way more time in the Hearthstone than what I do today, but there's just so many other things to do, so many better things to do with your time that you can't really make that argument anymore. And Hearthstone games have a problem of not being short enough. If there was an option to play with only 15 health, or 10 health even, and just quick games, I would have many more scenarios in which I could felt it was worth my time to even open Hearthstone. But there's nothing like that. Yeah, playing 10 health, you could probably make quite a few decks that almost guarantee a win.
The gates are open.
This will be interesting. Does 1 damage at the end of the turn. If it's your opponent's turn, summon up 8/8 skeleton. That'll be an interesting thing to see. Well, that does work to summon an 8/8 skeleton.
Ready to ride.
How many of these cards can I play?
Almost out of time.
Get behind me.
Probably just that one. I only needed to play 12, and so if I mean 20, and I did like 2 the first game, and maybe I've done like 4 to 7 here. So if I can get about 10 per game, maybe I can get it done in that one more game. If I'm lucky. I guess I may have only done 3. No, I've done 4. So
Dare summon me?
So if I've done 4, that's not great. And the only way I'm gonna get any wins is just to see. I need 13 more. Yeah, it feels like 4 more games. 4 more games of playing this, and in the meanwhile, maybe I'll get lucky and get a quick disconnect and get a victory. Or I can't imagine any other way of succeeding.
Let the hunt begin. I must protect the wild. The legions I command. Job's done.
Yep, can't do anything there. Let's see, it's 9:20 now. The last person to response to talk was at 8:28. So that is your central time. So my estimate wasn't really off from what I would have guessed, honestly. That most people aren't going to have much time in the mornings to watch YouTube. People could certainly be on commutes, but honestly in the United States, your internet service over a cell phone is probably not good enough that people would actively want to watch a live stream then. Or even if they are watching it, they're not going to want to chat. And I don't know how much I should prioritize chat, but YouTube itself seems to prioritize chat. And see, I certainly imagine between 8:30 and 10 a.m. there would just always be a noticeable drop-off while people are commuting. And then between 10 a.m. to like noon, there might be a little bit of a increase at that point. That would kind of make sense. But after noon or around noon, there's probably a lunch break that might even be a larger increase. And then I think the vast majority of people, they won't be watching until 3 or 5 or 7 in the evening. Like after people have done their entire day of school or work or whatever they do during the day. Am I gonna get a second opportunity here?
The gates are open. Job done.
Yep, that was just 2. if people don't take the victory, I'm gonna go ahead and concede. There's really no reason right now not to. And in all honesty, I don't see any way I could drag people away from their school work. It's like, if I was doing that, that's not even good.
I must protect the
So,
nature must be preserved.
so yeah. The other thought would be to go the other direction and have my videos air later and later. Which, I don't think I like that idea either.
The legions I command.
And the things I watch on YouTube seem to be very sporadic and built around no real concept. Right, if I do this, they give me 3 and that give me 4, so I have to wait 1 turn. If I could play this and then play this, that might build up enough of a... Do this and this and this. Now hopefully this will make it wait long enough so I can play this.
For the wild. For the wild.
Well, that didn't work, so we'll just play this.
Job done.
Just keep playing.
Jungle provides.
And I'm half being quiet because I don't have anything to say, and I'm half being quiet because I'm falling asleep. That's what really kills us more than anything else is the idea of
The brave buys you no rest.
This one's mine. They'll never know what.
the idea of streaming consistently when you're about to fall asleep is not smart. It's just always gonna fail in the exact same spot where you just I'm not gonna be mentally clear, and clearly that's right now what's happening is I can't even think straight. And see, this doesn't feel like it's entertaining or giving any information when I'm doing this. So let's be realistic here. Let's say I get the daily quest done, at least one of them, and then let's call it a stream. We've been going, I believe now 2 hours and 45 minutes, long enough, certainly, since I didn't break up any of this. see, again, here's a prime example of a card that's better getting One Night in Karazhan, or it's much more valuable to get this than it is to get Arthas. 5 random legendaries for a player who has probably 1 or 2 legendaries.
Someone called it.
I'm surprised there isn't a card that adds 5 extra epics. But I don't know how you could do both of those things. Like that, having 10 extra cards seems pretty unfair. But really there should be some kind of legendary that adds 5 extra epics and 5 extra commons and 5 extra rares. But I don't know how you play all of them.
The sun well.
Well, I don't know where this one actually even ranks up. This may not be a card that actually gets played that much. So I'm just gonna try and save life to play more of these cards. That makes the most sense.
Pass me that arc light scanner. I spread the master's will.
Yeah, I just feel like one of those regular Twitch streamers that I see on rare occasions. I don't watch too many Twitch streamers, but I feel like I'm one of them, just sitting here not really doing anything. I just don't feel good about making content like this. Beast. We need a beast. We don't have a beast.
None shall pass.
Is a Jade Golem a beast? I don't think he is. Yeah, I still like that idea of Jade Golems just becoming glass cannons. Like, they do a lot of damage, but they're always 1 health. I think that fixes the Jade scheme more than probably anything else I can think of.
For the wild. Job done.
And then I suppose you could go the other route. You could have a whole range of stone golems or something that was 0 attack and 1 health with taunt. And you just keep doing that over and over again. That would work. Give a friendly minion that and that and taunt. Still don't have a beast on the field. Did I put any beasts? Well, according to Hearthstone Deck Tracker, which isn't even recording,
Take your medicine.
So people can't even see it. I was wondering about that. Have I not set up Hearthstone deck tracker right in the past couple streams? I bet that's the case. Because come to think of it, I have not been paying enough attention to the idea of
I've got a huge gun. Job's done.
yeah, I haven't been paying attention to get Hearthstone deck tracker on the screen, which probably means it hasn't worked in a couple streams. That's great. Well, I think this will be our last game, regardless of how much progress we make or not. I'm crashing big time here.
For nausea time.
As far as falling asleep. But I knew after trying to sleep between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. that I wasn't going to be asleep anytime soon, and I was accurate there for another 3.5 hours.
The 100 kings will rise again. Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
Gain an empty mana crystal. Excess mana.
Ready. For the wild. The 100 kings will rise again.
So how many of these did I get to play?
The frost wolves stand ready.
Not too quickly.
So I wanted to see if I play this, do I get excess mana? Nope, not one bit.
Bend to my will. For the wild. Handle it.
Still no beast. If only I could get him to draw 5 more cards and then about 15 more cards after that. Nah, it's only about 7. Still no beasts. But this should be it. This should be the end for me.
Behold the might of Stormwind.
Well played.
And you can certainly see the struggle to get a daily quest like that done ends up in 4 losses to 0 wins. See, that's pretty much exactly what's going to happen. And I'm not really ashamed to admit it, that sometimes when I get bored like this or tired like this or just don't want to play Hearthstone, I will sometimes just go into casual play and start a game and then walk away and hope the opponent either disconnects or concedes, and it works for the little amount of effort it takes. The only other thing I wanted to do is get a real Druid or Rogue victory, and I'm not going to get that done now. It's been a little bit of a weird stream again, certainly, but that's going to be it. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.